Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I cannot tell you how many messages, how many downloads, YouTubes I see that are coming into my existence, just talking about just allowing. I watched this thing yesterday and I can't remember. It was after I did my channeling. I did a channeling from Jesus. I've done a couple of them where he's talking about just, the whole thing with patience. And it doesn't matter what the situation is. If you have to have patience, it's because you're trying to control the situation. You're trying to control the outcome. Let it go. Just enjoy the journey. And what was it yesterday? I can't remember who. Mark Watts? Somebody. Hold on. I got to figure this out. I'm going to look it up while I'm talking. But talking about just be. When you try to control a situation, when you try to control the outcome, that's where your stress comes in. We've been taught, we've been brainwashed, we've been lied to think that you have to struggle. You have to nothing's going to happen unless you make it happen. There are so many things. Yes, okay. If I want lunch, chances are I got to get up out of this chair, go to my kitchen, and make lunch. Yes, I'm not saying sit and do nothing. But what I'm saying, no, take the butt out. I'm not saying sit and do nothing. What I'm saying is if you're on a trip, you don't have to have patience on when you get there. You just have to enjoy the journey. Enjoy the trip. If you're enjoying the trip, you don't have to have patience. If you are looking for a new job, you don't have to have patience for them to call you to be hired or not hired, either way. Just enjoy the day. Enjoy what you're doing now. If you're single and you want a partner, if you're married and you don't want the partner you're with, it's not patience on waiting for the change. Either way, it is just enjoying the moment that you're in now. And if you're called to do, if you feel like, okay, it's easier to do if you're single. I haven't, if you, Alan Watts, check it out. That is who they explain this like so much better than I do. But it is basically, it's exactly what Jesus was saying. Anyway, back to my scenario. You're single, right? You can try to make it happen. You can try to make your soulmate show up, your whoever, your partner. You can't make it happen until it's ready to happen. It doesn't matter how many places you go. It doesn't matter how many bars you go to. And that's a whole nother thing. If you're looking for love in all the wrong places. Literally. Thank you. Because it doesn't matter where you're looking. Stop looking. Just allow the situation to unfold magically. If you feel like going to a bar, if you feel like going to an event, If you feel like going for a car ride, a motorcycle ride, just to go get a cup of coffee. If you feel like you just want to do that, then do that. But don't go with the intention that you're going to find whoever it is that you're supposed to find. And you needing patience and I speak from experience, because when I was single and I was trying to make my guy show up, it didn't matter where I went. It didn't matter what I did. I went everywhere that I wanted to go. I felt like I should go. He wasn't showing up. However, I was going to hog meetings. In a hog meeting, just randomly, they came out with an announcement, which that announcement in a chain of events led me to my husband. Did I know that that hog event was going to lead me to my husband? No, I did not. Because every event I'd ever gone to prior to that, every guy there was either undesirable or the good looking ones were married. It didn't matter how hard I was looking. It didn't matter how many events I went to. It didn't matter how many things I did. I couldn't make it happen until it was meant to happen. Jobs. It doesn't matter how hard you try to get a job. If it's meant to be, it'll be. You can have the most polished resume. You can have the most polished interview skills. But if you're not meant to get that job, it doesn't matter how polished you are. You're not going to get it. Because you don't know. The owner's relative may have been promised that job. And they might be completely unqualified. But you're not going to get the job. They are. It doesn't matter what it is. You know, it's just like my next house. I can't make it show up no more than I could make this one show up when I was looking. I couldn't make my last house show up. I had been looking for a house for over a year. It wasn't time. It appeared exactly. And the other thing is, I wanted to have a view of the mountains. So I was searching for mountains. One day, I said, why can't I find my house? And I heard it's not time for the mountains yet. Let that go for now. That will come later. It's not time. As soon as I released that, like within the week, probably a couple of days, much less a week, I found my house. And it was perfect for me. It was perfect. It just fell into place. Me trying to make it happen, it wasn't happening. When I found this house, I felt like it was time for the mountains. And I remember saying, okay, you said I needed to wait, now it's time. And it was. So this house appeared exactly when it was meant to appear. And I have a view of the mountains. I'm one of the very few houses on my entire street that have a view of the mountains. Everybody else has trees in their backyard, which blocks the view. Mine is wide open, and I can see the mountains. My next house is the same thing. It will appear exactly when it's meant to appear. I don't have to have patience. Me thinking I have to have patience for anything is where your stress comes in. And when I tell you to eliminate your stress, I'm talking about all of it. All of it. You should stress over nothing. Nothing. Because again, that's you trying to control a situation. When you understand, this is not an understanding because your brain's not going to wrap around it. When you come to the understanding that everything already is, yes, you need to act as if you already have it, because one of the things that Alan Watts was talking about, and this is something that we've heard millions of times, but it plays into the bigger picture, is act as if, be in the vibrational frequency of whatever you want. If you think about it, if you want that relationship and you're coming from, I'm trying to make it happen, you're coming from lack, you're coming from a fear, you're coming from a desperation, if you're trying to hold on to your partner, if you're trying to hold on to a job, a situation, whatever, you're coming from a fear, you're coming from a lack, a desperation. What kind of frequency does that send out? Nobody wants to be around that kind of person. Think about people that you've been around and you've seen them in that desperate state. Is that an enjoyable place to be? No. So do you think people want to be around you if you're in that state? No. It's no different. So you're attracting, if you think about, and the only thing that's popping in my head is a woman, and this is no knock against women because it can be men in the same situation. But in this scenario, a woman is desperate to hang on to her husband. She thinks that he's the best thing, he provides for her. She is doing everything out of desperation to try to make him happy, to try to keep him from a place of, I can't live without him. What would I do? My world would fall apart if he wasn't in it. I would starve, I would be homeless, I would be lonely. You put in whatever scenario you want to put in. Do you want to be around that kind of person? So what kind of person, because he's going to get tired of it, if he's a stronger man and he's set in who he is, he's going to leave because he's tired of dealing with that nonsense. And vice versa. If you've got a man that's doing the same thing, a strong woman is going to get tired of that nonsense and be like, you know what? I don't need this stuff. I mean, I've had boyfriends that I'm like, I don't do clingy. I don't do needy. I'm not doing puppy and heat. And I tell them flat out, but that is it. That is one of the first things that'll get you out the door. If you're clingy, if you're needy, if you're a puppy in heat, I don't want you. So you pick the scenario. So what kind of person is going to be attracted to that? If you want a strong person, you have to become a strong person yourself. If you want the job that pays big money, you have to act assertive and not in an asshole kind of way. But you need to be sure of yourself. Again, not being arrogant, but come from confidence. Come from You know what you're doing, and you are secure in the fact that you don't have to have this job. You would like to have this job, because if you go into a job interview, oh, I have to have this job, in your mindset, you come across as needy. Again, it's all trying to force a situation. It's all trying to make something happen that's not meant to be. If it happens, you're not going to be happy with it anyway. So, and it's not going to last. So, again, eliminate all stress from your life. If you're still watching TV, I can tell you right now, that is one of the biggest proponents of stress, because you're listening to negativity and fear and control and all of those kinds of things. Cut that crap out. I have a TV that sits on the wall. It is like next to never turned on. Every now and then we might watch a movie. It is rare that I even watch movies anymore. I just don't even turn the TV on. I don't listen to the news. I stay informed about what's going on, yes, but I don't listen to the news every day, because the news is typically negative. Just roll with it. It's like one of the examples that Alan gave was, the harder you try to hold on to water, the more water flows through out of your hand. You can't hold on to it. You're struggling to try to hold back a wave. The wave is like fighting you. When you just relax and you just float with it, flow with it, your life goes so much easier. When you just cup your hands and you just allow the water to sit, it just sits. You're not trying to grasp it and hold on to it. You're just allowing. That's how your life is supposed to be. Every moment of every day. It's, yes, if you feel led, if you have the thought to go to a meeting, go. If you have the thought to go to the grocery, you know what? I just feel like going to get a cup of coffee or a donut or whatever, a sandwich. Stay away from fast food. Stay away from processed stuff. Go do that. And this just, I don't know why. If all of a sudden you're sitting there and go, oh my gosh, I need gas in my car. I have a trip to go on tomorrow. Let me go get gas now so I don't have to worry about it in the morning. Go. There's a reason. You might not ever know what that reason is, but it also might lead you into the exact situation that you've been hoping for all along. You might meet your Prince Charming. I don't know. It might lead you to a conversation where somebody's looking for somebody to hire and you happen to be the person. You might run into somebody that's selling their house and they're like, you know what? Or my parents just passed away. Me and my siblings want to sell my parents' house, but we really don't want to deal with an agent or whatever. And you find out that it is your perfect house. You never know. But you couldn't make that happen even if you tried. So, and it's like, Yes, live in the, and that this goes back to something that I said before in a video. You may have a job because you have bills to pay. First of all, if you don't love your job, you need to figure out what it is you do love to do. That needs to be top priority. In the meantime, enjoy the job that you have. Be grateful that you have a job that is helping you pay your bills. Figure out what it is you love to do, what you would do if you could do anything in the world, what would it be? And then start working towards that, not from desperation, not from, oh my God, I got to get this going so I can leave my job. No. Because again, that's lack, that's stress, you're fighting a situation. Just be happy. Even if you have to go to work and it's not the job that you would love to have, you're just doing it now for a paycheck, shift your mindset. And I can tell you this works because it's how I got out of my last job, other than just quitting. I hated my last job. Hated it. There were parts that, yes, I had freedom. It paid me pretty well. But there were parts of it that I dreaded. I didn't even want to get up in the morning because I had to do payroll. I had to deal with people not wanting to come to work, people that just quit, and now I've got an empty spot that I need to try to fill. That stuff is not me. It was so bad, and I've told this story before, so if you've heard it, hang in there, but if you haven't heard it, my password on my work computer was, I hate my job. So what kept happening? More stuff would show up for me to hate. Then when I started working on me and I started shifting my mindset, and it was like, you know what? I'm not going to focus on the part that I hate. I'm going to enjoy the parts that I enjoy. I'm going to enjoy my freedom. As long as my job, I would get on my motorcycle and go to a site. I would, and then take a ride. Because it gave me the freedom to do that. So, and then I changed my password to something positive. I don't remember, God is love, or I don't know, to the future. Something positive that gave me joy. And it was a very short period after that my job ended. And it was the easiest transition from a position that I've ever had in my life. Everything just fell into place. It was like magic. But it took me shifting my mindset to a positive place and coming from a place of gratitude and joy. And doing what I loved to do, because at that point I had people I was helping with theta healing. I was having theta healing sessions, helping people. It was where my passion was. Helping people. That's why I do these YouTubes. I'm here. I don't need to do this for me. I do this to help others. This isn't about me. I am not sitting here patting myself on the back and going, oh, how can I make no. I do this to try to help guide you and help you through your life situation and your struggles that you're dealing with. So learn from my experience. Because what I tell you, I live it. It's what I do. It's how I have achieved heaven on earth. And it doesn't matter what the situation is. Do things still piss me off? Yes. Do things still annoy me? Yes. I'm still human. But I've learned to start looking at it in a different light. Stop trying to control the situation. You know, I mean, yeah, there are things people do that annoy the life out of me because it's not the way I would do it. There are things that people do that annoy me, and I choose not to have them in my life. Because it's how they are. Again, if you're going to be clingy, no, there's the door. I don't do clingy. I need somebody that is, no, I don't need anybody. That's the difference. I don't need anybody. I don't have to have anybody. And this was probably pretty brutal, but I told not my current husband, of course it's the same thing there. I told my last husband, I said, as long as you're an asset, you can stay. When you become a liability, you're gone. He didn't really become a liability. We just grew apart. But I don't need anybody. Now, I mean, after I left him, yes, I went through my dark night of the soul because I still needed somebody. I don't need anybody anymore. I enjoy me. I enjoy my time. I enjoy being by myself. I saw this thing the other day. One of these, and I'm going to tell you this and then let you go. It was a place. I don't even know where it is. They would pay you like $5 million if you could stay there by yourself for 90 days. I would be there in a flat ass minute. As long as I know I'm safe and my animals are taken care of, I would be there for 90 days with nobody. And I would enjoy it. Because I have gotten to the point where I enjoy my company. It was a beautiful place. My God, if I did nothing but sit and enjoy the beauty around me, like I said, as long as I know I'm safe, because there's nobody there for like miles. I think you're on an island by yourself or something. Anyway, I don't know where it is. But yeah, I would do that. And as long as I knew, because you don't have cell service, you don't have a phone, you don't have a TV, you don't have anything. As long as I knew everything was taken care of. Sorry, had to cough. I would be perfectly good. And that's where you need to get. Anyway, it took me over 50 years to get there. My mom told me one day, she's like, Pam, I don't get you. You are the most independent child I've got. You can do anything you put your mind to. Why you feel like you have to have a guy in your life? I mean, my first boyfriend was in kindergarten, and it rolled from there. Until I left my last husband. Until we parted. I always had somebody. When you go 50 some years, well, pretty close to 50 some years, having a guy, of boyfriend, husband, whatever, And then all of a sudden you are dead alone. Like nobody in your existence, not even your daughter. Your daughter won't even speak to you. Yeah, that's a rude wake-up call. But it took that. It was a struggle. It was not pleasant. It was my dark night of the soul. It was my hell on earth. But it took that to wake me up. It took that for me to become okay with me and learn to love me. It's been a journey. So when I tell you I live in heaven on earth, I've been in hell. It's not a fun place to be. A lot of people are still choosing to live in hell. You don't realize how bad hell is until you move to heaven. And it's not a physical place. It's a state of mind. It is a state of being. So I hope this helps you. Again, just go with the flow. Just allow life to happen. Flow the river. Be the water. As you approach a rock, don't tense up. It doesn't matter what the situation is. Just flow. You being the water and you see a big boulder up ahead of you, you can't stop. I don't care what you do. Water is going to keep going. It might reroute, but it will keep going. Just go. Enjoy the journey. Just sit back and float your river. If you bump into a rock, okay. If you're rerouted, just enjoy the scenery. Enjoy whatever. It's part of your journey. There is no destination. There's nowhere you have to get. When you come to that inner standing, also, it makes life so much better. So, have an amazing day. Click the like button, subscribe to my channel. Or not. It's up to you. I love you. I send you so many blessings. Here's to an amazing float. Just float and enjoy.